Hey everyone, and welcome back to our channel. In today's video I am doing a little cage rearrange and spot clean for my female Campbell Aloona. Aloona is a very messy hamster. She's a very quiet hamster, but she's a very messy hamster. And she also does get bored quite quickly, so I do like to change her setup every now and then. So of course I'm first starting out by taking everything out of the cage and just giving it a quick brush down and taking off all of the old forage and stuff that she hasn't eaten. Aloona wasn't awake yet, so I waited for her to hear me, and I then started to hear her in her multi-chamber hide, so I just gently started taking it out and letting her wake up as slow as she needed to. I then started getting the carrier ready. So when I do my cage cleans, I always take their hoard and also their nesting bedding that they've made out of their nest, and then I put it into the carrier so that when I put them in the cage, I can put it all back in the same place that they had it. I put most of their food hoard in the carrier with them just so that when I'm finished with the cage, I can put their hoard back where they had it, just because cleaning out their whole hoard can really stress them out, and them going back to no food can obviously make them quite stressed. So I always make sure I put some back into the cage with them. Once Aloona is safely in the carrier, I can carry on with taking everything out of the cage. So I take out her multi-chamber hide and then just get rid of any soiled bedding that may be in there from where she was nesting. Usually this isn't a lot, as she does use her sand bath as a toilet, so there's not much dirty bedding to clean out. Once I finish doing that, I will even all of the bedding out again and just refresh it all, and then I will start compressing it down again so that it holds burrows. Then it's time to start putting everything back in her cage. It always takes me a while, as you know, to set up their cages. I always am very fussy about where I put everything, and also so is my hamster, so I have to try and set it up how she likes it as well. I also decided to move her platform to the other end of the cage, just because I can't see the other end of the cage from my bed. So I put the platform at the other end where I can see it from my bed, just because she's a ghost hamster, and if I wake up during the night I like to be able to see her, and most of the time she's either on her wheel or on the platform, so it's just easier to see and I'll put my mind at ease. So I decided to move the wheel to the other end of the cage. Her wheel is quite noisy, so I can hear it at night, which is good. And then I carried on compressing all of the bedding down and added in her multi-chamber hide again. I'm now adding in her cork log. This is probably one of my favourite cork logs. It's such a nice shape. Sometimes you get really odd shaped ones and sometimes you get really nice shaped ones. So yeah, this is probably one of my favourites. I know that is so random. I'm now putting in her large grapevine wood. I really like the shape of this one as well, it's really nice. I struggled on where to put it because her multi-chamber hide currently doesn't have stilts because she tubed them all and they all broke off, so I've had to order some more. But I didn't want it leaning on the multi-chamber hide too much because otherwise it would weigh it down. I then started adding in all of her other bits, so I added in her coconut hide, and then I also added in her platform, which I actually DIY'd myself. I just got a cork mat from IKEA, and I'm pretty sure you can get them from Asda as well or on Amazon, and then I just hot glued some stilts to the bottom of it, and I always get my stilts from Amazon. As you can see, I'm having a bit of trouble getting it in the cage because I compressed the bedding down so much, so it was really hard to try and get it through the bedding because I already had the bedding in the cage, so I couldn't take it all out. Then I'm just adding a little bendy bridge to her platform just so that she can get up to the level because she's a really tiny dwarf, bless her. So I have to make sure there's no big steps or any big jumps. Then I'm just adding some moss into the gaps of her bendy bridge. This is really important to do if you don't already do it. But bendy bridges a lot of the time will have gaps in them, and this is a very big risk of the hamster's feet and legs getting stuck in it. So I recommend just filling them up with some moss or just hot gluing them so that the hamster's feet can't slip through them. I just added in her beehive hide, that's a mouthful to say, which is actually just a tea light holder from Asda. Then I added in her little dish of Chipsi Ultra. She doesn't really use this much, but I'm trying to keep it in there because it does look nice, and also until I get some new cocoa fibre. Then I got her this really cute little pink bear hide from Hope's Healthy Treats. I will link them down below, their website is amazing. And then she also has this little grass hide, which is also from Hope's Healthy Treats, and I added that to her platform because she really likes just like chilling up there. She always used to sit in her hide when it was up there, her ceramic beehive up there, so I decided to switch it around and have the hay hide up there instead. Next, I am just adding in some moss. This is, of course, my favourite part. I decided to add some into the holes of the grapevine wood. They weren't like big holes that she could get stuck in. They weren't small holes that she could get stuck in. They were just quite big holes, but I liked how the moss looked in them. And I also decided to put some moss all around her ceramic beehive hide and also on her platform. And then this is so random, but I have to do it because I feel like it tidies the enclosure up a lot. I just get a really small makeup brush and I just brush off all of the like dirt that comes from the moss when you like break it up. I just think it looks a lot better when it's just a little bit cleaner. So I just quickly brush all of that off. Next, I am just adding some moss next to her water bowl, just because I find that this just soaks up any water that may spill. She doesn't spill it often, but sometimes when she's trying to reach into it, she'll sometimes like tip it forward. So if there's moss there, then that means I know that nothing's going to get soaking wet because the moss will soak it up. Now time to start adding in all of the forage. So here I am just adding in some birch leaves. These are probably my favourite leaves to add to all of my enclosures, just because they're not so crumpled up. A lot of the time when you get leaves, they're a lot more crumpled and like in pieces, whereas these are quite whole. Then I'm adding in some yellow millet, which is probably her favourite. She isn't too keen on any other types of millet like red millet, but she will eat them. They'll just always be left till last. Then of course I am adding in the famous Flax Sprays. As you all know, my hamsters absolutely adore these, so we have to have quite a big stock in. But I just added these to anywhere I felt was a bit empty. So next I am just adding in some flowers. I do usually use the Tiny Flowers shop flower mix, but I only had the tiniest piece left, so I had to supplement it with some other flowers that I just had left over from a big order that I'd done ages ago. But my Tiny Flowers shop order is on the way, which I'm so excited about. So I just added in some chamomile flowers, some rose petals, and now I'm adding in some sunflower petals, and I'm pretty sure the other ones I added in are called marigold flowers. I think there's a few different names for them, but that's the ones I added in. And after a few hours, that is the cage all clean. So let's go and get Aloona and let her explore. Here is just a quick overview of what the cage looks like. And as you can see, Mooney is having a lot of fun exploring it. So I really hope you enjoyed this cage cleaning video. For my next video, I'm going to try and do an actual cage tour. Instead of setting up the cage, I'm going to show you a tour of it. And I'm really excited to film it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you like and subscribe if you did. We're nearly at 400 subscribers, which is crazy. I will see you in my next video. Bye!